Now he's back with us.
Okay, sweet.
There we go, bro.
Waiting like 50 Cent. Come on.
I don't know what happened.
Speak to me, Dio. Speak to me, brother.
Yeah, like honestly, let me just start by saying I enjoy the game because the team looked more solid. That's it. And this is all I've been asking. We look solid. We look, the little mistakes that we started making in the back, trying to play out the back. I think those are things that, you work out with experience and just clear the ball out. But I have to give kudos to the manager because, again, I know everybody likes to criticize Arteta. The manager coaches a team to position them to be able to put the ball in the back of the net. And that's their job on the pitch. Every single time Arsenal has played, even in games that we've lost, we've created chances that did not go in the back of the net. That's not the manager's fault. He's already coached the system that's gotten you to the edge of the box, and then you can't put in the back of the net. The manager is not going to put the ball in the back. I have to give him kudos because I think he really set up well. I looked at the squad depth, and my big fear this season was he's gotten a lot of players now, and he has almost a like-for-like player in every position. How is he going to manage using these players so that they don't feel like they're not getting minutes and they don't feel disgruntled? But I like the way he's kind of used the players today. I like the way we set up today. That double pivot of Declan Rice and Zubimendi. When I saw the lineup today, I was like, okay, Declan Rice, Zubimendi. Odegaard looks like he's, apart from a few maybe missed passes here and there, I think Odegard is coming back into his own, like just as a captain and as a player from that injury. He's shooting more from the outside. He's making the right passes again today. Zubimendi, I think everybody said what needs to be said about him. That guy literally just allows us to play free-flowing football. He literally allows us to play that, just the tempo. He gets the ball. Sometimes he'll pass back. He'll pass to the side. I was watching him today very, very, and he'll make that pass and open up again, collect the ball. He receives the ball with a player right behind him still, and still makes a pass, and that is, and then Gyökeres, of everything said about him, I don't care what people say. He's a number 9. His job is to put the ball in the back of the net. Nobody says anything when Haaland plays 30 minutes not touching the ball, and then the minute he touches the ball, he scores. They're like, oh, Haaland. And I'm like, yeah, that's what I need. I need my number 9. I don't care whether he runs to the left or he runs like a tractor or he runs to the right, whatever he does. I just need my number 9 to be able to receive the ball when he's supposed to receive it. However he's going to put it in the back of the net, put it in the back of the net. I trust my defense. Again, the last 2 seasons, we've conceded the least goal, even though we didn't win the league, because that means that defensively, we can see out a game. I'm happy to score 1 goal and see out a total game. Like, I don't care. This is not about, I don't want to see the beautiful free-flowing run around, make a stupid mistake, give the ball away, and then they counter and they score. I don't want to see that. I'd rather, hey, your job, Zubimendi, if I'm Gyökeres, even if you don't touch the ball for 55 minutes and it's 0-0, but when you touch the ball, it goes in the back of the net. Job well done. Thank you very much. Lock up the shop and let's go. That's all I care about this season. Can
I ask you a question on what you just said there?
Yeah.
Because last season we had 14 draws last season, yeah, and we was one of the teams that lost the most points from winning positions, basically. So do you feel like Zubimendi is going to help us more now control these games?
It's not just only Zubimendi. I'll say something. Last season we had 14 draws. Of those 14 draws, 6 of them we played with 10 men. That's 6 red cards. In those 6 games, you know what that means? Discipline. The team needs more discipline to know, because if we played 11-11 in those 6 games, I guarantee maybe those are games we would have won. So we probably would have drawn 8 games. Now, do you think that Zubimendi, the way he plays and as a player, can take us in those 8 games that we would have drawn to a win? I think so. Do you think a Gyökeres would have been on this team last season and not scored in about 3 or 4 of those 8 games? He probably would. So my point is the issues that we had last season, we've kind of fixed. We brought in a striker. We brought in depth. Bukayo Saka doesn't have to run himself to the ground and be injured. Saka, by December last season, had created the most big chances in the league, got injured, went away for 3 months, came back from injury, and was the second person with the most big chances still.
Yeah, he's nuts. He's different.
You can imagine how that affects a team. So my thing is, I'm just happy with the squad depth. The issues we had last season, no striker, squad depth, and discipline. If we can be disciplined and keep 11 men on the pitch, I think we stand a chance to do something.
Well, I think you dropped about 24 points from winning positions in the league. And that would, if I'm sitting there and I'm running Arsenal Football Club, this is what I'm sitting down with Arteta and Berta and saying, it's how do we ensure that we don't do that again next season? That would be my conversation that I would have if I was running Arsenal Football Club. And I think Zubimendi's part of it, like you've said, Dan. I think controlling games better, having the legs and the energy, a striker that can get you more goals. Because yes, there are certain goals that are really important, the opening goals and winning goals and things like that. But it's also having someone in your team, and rivals, by the way, will end up saying, oh, some of his goals are stat padding. You've already 2-0 up. You got the third. You're already winning. But look at the games you've lost in the last few seasons or drew. I go back to that famous Aston Villa game where you're 2-0 up and it gets thrown away. You had chances. Even some of the games where you did draw last year and lose when you had a man sent off, you had Kai Havertz missing really good chances. There is a much bigger possibility that you're winning those games. You go to the FA Cup knockout game to Man United. Does Gyökeres take those chances that Kai Havertz got? Does he score the penalty that Odegard misses? Does he score in the penalty shootout, maybe instead of one of those players? You go to the semi-final against Newcastle. All those chances you had in that semi-final, especially at home, the ones that, the header that hit his shoulder. If you're a betting man, if you go, right, you can go back and relive it, but Gyökeres is playing, would you bet on the result being different? I think most football fans, let alone Arsenal, would. So I do think you can claw back a lot of those. You can gain so many more points this year. And we all know this as well. As much as football fans talk about performances and style of play, let's be really blunt. In a cold, hard light of day, all we really care about is results. And you will know that's true, because if you'd have won all those games last year, instead of dropping the points from them, you'd have practically won the league. But the style of football wouldn't have been any different. But you wouldn't care. Do you know what I mean? We're champions of England. So, yeah, what do you think, Dan? Do you feel like the Zubimendis and the Gyökereses? And I want to ask about another player as well, because I thought Madueke come on and look good. Do you think they're going to help you see out more games this year and win many more matches? Can you envisage that, Dan? Negative, Dan. Sorry, because he asked a question. Sorry.
Yeah, I believe so. 100% from what I've seen of Zubimendi now, and especially today's game, the tenacity, the tackles, the passing ability, taking on the half turn. I do believe that. And not only that as well, after seeing Kai Havertz come on, I'm one of his biggest critics. The way he took that goal, now that Gyökeres is here, is this going to push him to the next level? Calm down, Dan. Yeah. Is this going to take Havertz to the next level as well? Those chances that he was missing last season, like you said, does he now start putting them away? Do you understand? I said to Dan about Kai Havertz, I want to see him coming on last 20 minutes. Look what's happened today. You got your main striker on for 70 minutes. You bring Kai Havertz on. He puts away an excellent goal today. So I do believe the squad is now better positioned to get through these games that we was drawing, get through these games where we're dropping points. I just believe we're going in the right direction. And I'm going to, you know how I feel about Arteta, but I'm going to get behind him this season and see where we go. That's what I'm going to do.
There's more depth, Dan. There's more depth in the squad now. And again, my thing is, my criticism of a manager is if your system does not create chances. If Arteta coaches a team that goes on the pitch and we have 0 shots on target, we're not able to get the ball, progress the ball into the final third, that's when I'm like, get this manager out my team. But when a manager coaches a team for 38 games where we create chances in the games, but then these players, you're in the 18-yard box and you can't, it's either the player is not good enough, go get me somebody else who's good enough to be put into a system that creates chances. And that's what I see right now. I think that with the depth that we have, having the right kind of players.
And what it looked like as well, because I had issues. I said to myself, is this man going to adapt his gameplay to help Gyökeres? It looked like that today.
I was seeing some things.
You know why he will? Look at Mikel Arteta's system from 2022 till now. He changes every season. That's a manager that changes his style depending on how the team is evolving. So him bringing in Victor Gyökeres, I was confident that he's going to change the style to that. Can he win with it? That's the question. Can he win with this new style? Now we're playing the 4-2-3-1, which we never used to. We always played a 4-3-3. He's changed that system now to suit playing 2 holding midfielders, which is Declan Rice. As much as everybody says is an 8, the way he played today, he played more of a 6. Zubi was always ahead of him. You know this?
Yes, I noticed that. Yes,
playing center back at certain points in the game where he would drop deep. I was watching the whole thing and I was like, I'm like, okay, there's a different style here now because Zubimendi can progress those passes better than Declan. And when Declan gets the ball from the back, because he can drive, he can also eat up a lot of ground and drive at the defense. So I think that we will evolve to over time to benefit Victor Gyökeres. I just want to
touch on what you said about Odegard. For me, it was still a bit concerning from what I was seeing from Odegard out there today. As much as you're saying he's looking like he's coming back to his best, it still wasn't good enough for me.
You have to understand that his role is going to change this season because of Zubimendi and because of Gyökeres. His role is entirely going to change. He's not going to be the Odegard that you thought you saw. And that's what footballers are, adaptable in a game. As a manager, you're like, all right, this season, I now have a striker, the main focal point. Odegard doesn't have to drop deep anymore to receive the ball, to be the one linking up passes. It's going to be Zubimendi. Odegard will play in pockets of spaces, drop those 1-2 passes, and we saw him do that today excellently. He missed a couple of them, and again, you will miss them because you are taking them. When you take those 2 passes, you will miss them. So
I think we need to just give him the first 6 games. Great result today, but let's just not get carried away until we start the Premier League. I would also say that as well.
Yeah, I'm not getting carried away. I'm just happy that I know, like, based on what I'm looking, I'm just like, we're using the players how I think they should be used.
I think that's key, and it's like the Declan Rice thing. I think Declan Rice I don't think he's been misprofiled by your manager. I don't think he's being misprofiled by football people. I think rivals and haters are misprofiling him. I've heard people on my podcast, other people's podcasts on socials, refer to him as an attacking midfielder. He shouldn't be used as an attacking midfielder. And he isn't an attacking midfielder. He is an 8. And
he's a box to box.
He's a box to box. And if you actually look again, heat maps are such an important element of football because they show you where a player touches the ball. If you look at Declan Rice's and Zubi's heat maps today, they're almost identical, barring the one thing that Declan Rice did that Zubi didn't, is he goes back into the box a little bit and defends. And I see people just trying to assess him on, well, he's passing. And again, the other day I saw people going crazy. He only completed 7 or 8 passes in the first half. He's awful. He played the same position today and completed 96% pass completion, 56 passes attempted, 54 completed. Zubimendi, 49 passes attempted, 46 completed with a 94% completion rate. Again, it's one game and one performance, and I know you Arsenal fans will put the pressure on it being every week, and rightfully so, but in the right partnership it works. And I always felt a good partnership you had. He just didn't have the physicality of Zubimendi. I used to think that Declan Rice and Jorginho worked well together. The problem is Jorginho just didn't have the legs, so he would run through a little bit too easy. And I think Declan Rice needs somebody like a Zubimendi. When was Zubimendi at his best at Sociedad? It was when he had Moreno next to him, who I think is a good player, but he's a Rice type, but not as good. You've now taken the 2 best elements of those midfields and you've put them together, and you're going to be a very hard team when them 2 are in it to break down and to defeat, especially with that back line behind you. I think that's really important. Sorry, Cal, you were going to say something.
Yeah, and I also think they're building a real relationship, that because I see them interchanging in the game. Sometimes I see Zubimendi being the deeper player. Sometimes I see Rice being the deeper player. And I didn't know when it was happening. And if I don't know when it's happening, that means no one else is going to know when it's happening either. I think that's going to be a really, really good partnership. And I also noticed that Odegaard, especially in the first half, was not dropping deep to collect the ball like he usually does. And on the whole, Rice should only be used as a 6 argument. I think it's dumb at this point, because I think Rice is just way too good at carrying the ball to be stuck in a holding 6 position. I think just being in a partnership with Zubimendi is definitely the way to go.
I agree completely. We're going to go to some